Drummer Boy of Baltimore. In the summer of 1814, 12-year-old Sam Carter lived in Baltimore, a busy port city on the Chesapeake Bay. Sam was small, with bright eyes and a quick smile that made folks like him. He loved drums, their sharp taps and rolling beats. When soldiers marched through town, their drummers made Sam's heart race. He wanted to be just like them. His father, a blacksmith named Tom, made horseshoes and musket parts for the American militia. His mother, Sarah, grew vegetables in their small garden, always humming soft tunes. But the War of 1812 had changed everything. The British, strong and fierce, were fighting America again, and fear hung over Baltimore like a storm cloud. The war started in 1812, when Sam was 10. He didn't understand all the reasons, but he listened when grown-ups talked. The British were stopping American ships at sea, taking sailors and saying they belonged to England. They also helped Native American tribes fight American settlers out west. This made people mad. President James Madison said it was time to fight back, to protect America's freedom. So, the war began. Battles happened far away, on lakes in Canada, on the open sea, and in places Sam had never seen. But now, in 1814, the war was coming closer. One day in August, Sam overheard men at his father's forge.
"The British burned Washington, D.C.,
one said.
"They set fire to the White House."
Sam's stomach twisted. Washington was close, too close. Everyone said Baltimore might be next. The British wanted to punish America, to show they were still the strongest. Sam's father joined the militia, a group of men ready to defend the city.
"Stay home, Sam,"
he said, slinging his musket over his shoulder.
"Keep your mother safe."
But Sam had a plan. He wanted to be a drummer boy, like the ones who signaled soldiers with their drums. He'd been practicing for months, tapping rhythms on barrels with sticks Mr. Tate, the old drummer, gave him. Mr. Tate had taught Sam the beats, short taps for advance, long rolls for retreat. Sam begged to join the militia, but his father shook his head.
"You're too young. War's no game."
Sam didn't listen. He felt the drums beat in his bones. On a warm August night, church bells rang through Baltimore. Sam woke with a start.
"The British are here,"
his mother whispered, peering out the window. Their ships were in the Chesapeake Bay, red sails glowing in the moonlight. Sam's heart pounded. He waited until his mother was asleep, then grabbed his drum, a small one Mr. Tate let him borrow, and slipped out. He ran through dark streets, past houses with shuttered windows, to the militia camp near Fort McHenry. Fort McHenry was a star-shaped fortress by the water, Baltimore's shield against the British. Sam hid behind a crate, watching soldiers clean muskets and stack cannonballs. Major George Armistead, the fort's commander, walked by, his voice strong as he gave orders. Sam's hands shook, but he stood tall when a soldier spotted him.
"Boy, what are you doing here?"
the man asked, frowning.
"I can drum, sir,"
Sam said, holding up his drum.
"I know the signals."
The soldier laughed, but Major Armistead overheard. He looked at Sam, his eyes kind but serious.
"A drummer boy lifts spirits,"
he said.
"Can you play loud, lad?"
Sam nodded fast.
"Yes, sir."
The major smiled.
"Stay close then. We'll need every hand."
Sam stayed at the fort for days. He practiced his signals, learning new ones. Quick beats for fire cannons, steady taps for hold the line. His hands ached, but he didn't stop. The soldiers called him Little Drummer and shared their bread. They told stories of battles, of American ships beating British ones, of brave men fighting in Canada. Sam felt proud, but fear crept in. The British were coming, their ships filling the harbor like wolves circling a fire. On September 12th, 1814, the attack began. Sam stood on the fort's ramparts, drumming as British ships fired. Boom! Went their cannons, shaking the ground. Red rockets screamed through the sky, bursting in bright sparks. Smoke stung Sam's eyes, and his arms trembled, but he kept drumming. Advance! He tapped when Major Armistead shouted orders. Soldiers ran to their posts, firing muskets and cannons. The noise was deafening, like 100 thunderstorms. All night the British pounded the fort. Sam's heart raced. He thought of his mother praying at home and his father fighting somewhere nearby. A soldier yelled,
Keep drumming, Sam.
So he did, his sticks a blur. He imagined his beats were a shield, keeping the fort strong. Hours passed, and his hands grew sore, but he didn't stop. The flag above the fort, a huge one with stars and stripes, flapped in the wind, lit by flashes of cannon fire. At dawn, the firing stopped. Silence fell, heavy and strange. Sam lowered his drum, his hands shaking. Had they lost? The soldiers peered through the smoke, waiting. Major Armistead gave an order.
Raise the flag, he yelled loudly.
Men hauled up the giant flag made by Mary Pickersgill, a Baltimore seamstress. It was 30 feet long, with 15 stars and stripes. As it rose, the sun broke through the clouds, lighting the flag's colors. Sam squinted. The British ships were turning away, sailing back down the harbor. They'd given up. Cheers exploded around him.
We held the fort,
A soldier shouted. Sam grinned, his chest swelling with pride. He drummed through the night, helping in his own small way. The flag still flew, proving Baltimore was safe. Sam's father found him later, his face smudged with dirt but smiling.
You're a brave boy,
He said, hugging Sam tight. They went home, where Sam's mother cried with relief. The war wasn't over yet. Sam heard later about General Andrew Jackson winning a big battle in New Orleans in January 1815. But nobody knew then that a peace treaty, called the Treaty of Ghent, had been signed in December 1814. It ended the war, settling the fights over ships and trade. America didn't win land, but it proved it could stand strong. Years later, Sam grew up and became a blacksmith like his father. He told his children about that night at Fort McHenry, when he drummed under cannon fire and watched the flag rise at dawn. He told them about Francis Scott Key, a man who watched the battle from a ship and wrote a poem about the flag that never fell. That poem became the Star-Spangled Banner, a song Sam hummed as he worked, his drum beats still echoing in his heart. Militia. A group of people who fight to protect their town, not regular soldiers. The militia trained with muskets to defend the city. Musket, an old type of gun used in wars long ago. The soldier carried a heavy musket on his shoulder. Fortress, a strong building used to protect against enemies. The fortress had thick walls to keep the city safe. Ramparts, high walls around a fort used for defense. Sam stood on the ramparts watching the battle. Bombardment, attacking a place with many cannons or bombs. The bombardment made the ground shake all night. Cannonballs, heavy round objects fired from cannons. Soldiers stacked cannonballs near the big guns. Retreat, to move back or run away from a fight. The army had to retreat when the enemy was too strong. Treaty, an agreement between countries to stop fighting or solve problems. The treaty brought peace after the long war.